What's good, Plum Borough? I'm Drew Bartow,
I'm Mike Devine.
and together we are Sour Plums. We aim to entertain and educate more than 3 Plum residents by debating some of the trending topics in the borough, from school board and council happenings to business openings, conspiracy theories, and everything in between. Welcome to the Sour Plums podcast, friends. Mike, another great episode last week. Want to talk a little bit about what we what got backlash last week, and that was, I think, the mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, don't
Ice
drag
cream.
me into this. This was all you.
That wasn't me. How was that me?
The
I was
mint
okay
chocolate-
with. I was okay with mint chocolate chip.
Yeah,
You forgot already?
No, the backlash was people were on my side.
No.
Oh yeah,
Who was on your side?
pretty much everybody.
Didn't you say? Who said it tastes like toothpaste?
Justin and I both said that. It's
Yeah.
awful.
Nobody was on your side. The whole community. More people hated you over that than they did when you ran for school board.
This is true. I can dream.
You could dream.
You know
It's
what's
about
funny?
time though. I feel like every week it's me getting hit with the backlash. But I'm glad you finally got to taste that.
I had 4 years of it, but you know what? Just tonight, maybe like a half an hour ago, one of my players on my soccer team is heckling me. Her mom sent me a picture of her eating mint chocolate chip Blizzard from Dairy Queen. I was like, when is it going to stop?
That's exactly what I felt the last 3 weeks. So I'm glad you finally got it. And then I do have to I have to come clean here, everyone. I ridiculed Mike for his air fryer Uncrustables a couple weeks ago, and I gotta say, I had it. It was good. Even better than that was my kids had it and they love it. So it's a great late night snack for the kids. They can make it themselves really easily. Put it in there. We put it in there for about 3 minutes each. It's nice hard crust on the outside and still getting warm on the inside and gooey on the inside is really good, Mike. So thank you for that. I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong sometimes.
And your life will never be the same now. It has officially changed.
No, I'm gonna have like $30 to $40 worth of Uncrustables in my freezer every week. So yeah, it'll never change again.
And I have a confession to make as well. I had a business lunch last week. We went to, I never even knew this restaurant existed. It was the Cafe Carnegie.
Okay.
And there was a BLT on the menu and I ordered it.
No, you didn't.
And I was, after the meal, satisfied. I was full.
Really?
No, not really. It had chicken and avocado on it. It was delicious. It had bacon and lettuce as well. I stand by my principles.
That's
it was
bullshit. Here I come. I start the show off by being a good guy. And you know what? I'm done being a good guy. The rest of the show, asshole Drew's coming out. I'm telling you, I'm coming for you tonight, Mike.
We had so far. Asshole Drew's coming out now.
That was nice, Drew. I was trying to admit something. What are you drinking tonight, Mike?
All right, I just finished it actually. It's been sitting here for a couple of years actually. Bradshaw bourbon. It is Terry Bradshaw. He has a line of bourbon. It has the four Super Bowls that he won sticker on the bourbon. It's actually a pretty cheap bourbon. I think it was like $28, $30 somewhere around there for the bottle. But it's one of my favorite cheap bourbons. It's pretty good.
And I just started my second drink of the night, but it's called Green City from The Other Half. It's another double IPA. It's kind of my specialty. What about you, Alan?
I'm having Crown Royal Blackberry. It's very good.
Nice. Bringing
delicious.
Alan on early tonight. Early, but not often. No, I'm kidding.
I have one more thing to hit on before we move into the Plum Problems.
Sure.
We talked about the best sporting events in a vacuum last episode. And the one thing I didn't mention, and I will say this, the Super Bowl is still my favorite event all around. It's a great event.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't even touch on this. Nothing beats a Game 7 Stanley Cup final.
Okay.
It is the most it's the most intense sporting event.
It is.
It is high energy the whole game. It is one of my favorite things to watch. I mean, I love the Stanley Cup in general. I love hockey, but Game 7 Stanley Cup finals, I don't think anything beats that. In a vacuum right there, it's the best moment.
I will give you that. And I'll say this about hockey. I don't watch hockey until the playoffs. Now, I was spoiled. I knew up until the last year or so, I knew the Penguins were going to be in the playoffs. So why waste my time on the regular season? I'll just catch up when it's the first round of the playoffs. And but yeah, it is. You're right. Game 7 of Stanley Cup playoffs is the best sporting event. I'll give you that.
We agree on something.
Finally. I'd like to thank Tresco Concrete, Continental Comb, and the Jen Mascaro team for sponsoring the Sour Plums podcast. Continental Cone Barbershop, a traditional barbershop servicing the area since 1973. Up to date on all the new styles and cuts. Call 412-795-7555 and mention Sour Plums for $5 off any service.
Tresco Concrete, the best concrete products on the market. Ready-mix concrete delivered to your door, guaranteed to get hard or your money back. And as always, their concrete is all natural, no supplements, and always 100% Viagra-free.
The Jen Mascaro team proudly supports the Sour Plums podcast. When it comes to selling your home promptly and at peak value, look no further than the expertise of the Jen Mascaro team. With over a decade of industry experience, we guarantee to guide you seamlessly through the process. For personalized assistance, contact us at 412-607-6318 or email jen.mascaro@cbrealty.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to jump into some plum problems now. Drew, first thing I have on the list to talk about this week is the solar eclipse. So I'm going to be honest. There's different kinds of eclipses, and I had to look up to see what this one was to make sure everybody's on the same page and we know what a solar eclipse is. So a solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, thereby obscuring the view of the sun from a small part of Earth totally or partially. So the sun's going to be bright in the sky, the moon's going to pass in front of it. We're not going to see the sun anymore.
This is an educational program. To those who didn't know, now you know.
We're basically PBS. So
Bill Nye. Yeah.
All right. But it's gained a lot of traction in the community. I've been hearing a lot of things. Some of the biggest things that I've been hearing that people are complaining about, which I'm shocked people are complaining, to be honest. Kids are off school on Monday for the solar eclipse. But when you look around at the neighboring districts and other schools around Pittsburgh, a lot of them are either getting out early, they canceled altogether, they're going on to online learning, that kind of thing. So, I wasn't part of the conversation. I'm not privy to that information anymore, but it's causing an uproar. People are going to have their kids for an extra day after they've just been home for 6 days on spring break.
Yeah, and I think you were sarcastic there when you said you were shocked that it's causing an uproar in Plum. Everything causes an uproar in Plum.
I was not shocked.
And I think for me, I like the idea. Okay, let's set aside as an extra day. People have to figure that out. I get it. I get that. I do. But I'm not on it because I think it's a dangerous thing that's going to happen. Like, I mean, kids aren't going to be staring at the sun that much. They're not, talk to your kids, teach them something. I think it's better though that it's an educational experience that it's not going to happen in their lifetimes, at least their school age lifetime. And so, yeah, keep them home, get the glasses, which was great that the PTO got those for every kid in the school district. And you can use it as a learning experience. And the best part is they don't have to learn at home that day. It's a free day and they have to make it up. It's perfect. We don't have to extend their year. I love it.
Right. Well, one of the things we changed was to go 182 school days, with the Pennsylvania state minimum being 180. So there was the buffer for the 2 days. So this one does not have to be made up, which is fantastic. It's good for parents, good for kids, good for the teachers. So just enjoy one more day off with your kids.
That's what I think. Why not spend some more time with your kids and enjoy it? Teach them something, or at the very least, let somebody else teach them something if you're not interested.
Just don't look directly at the sun.
Yes, and it's like, I mean, the whole thing where the sun's going to be I think what they call it. Oh, I had it written down. I don't have it now. Where the moon's going to be over the sun. It's like a 4-minute thing. It's like it's shorter than a Mike Devine OnlyFans clip. It's not going to be that long. Anyway, let's move on.
All right. So this is more of a pet peeve. So breaking news: the lifetime ban is over. I'm back on the Plum community page.
You
As
are?
of yesterday, I am.
And Mike Devine is back on the Plum community page?
Back on. I pled my case, and here I am. I'm back. So
wow.
I didn't want to comment until I broke it, so I'm not going to comment until this airs next week. I won't comment, so I'll be in the background, but I'm watching, and this is where I'm going to.
You save all breaking news for the podcast, right?
Exactly. So I announce it. I announce it Thursday night when we record, and you'll all find out Monday.
So what was your first post?
I didn't have one yet.
You haven't had one yet. Okay.
I'm gonna wait till No. I gotta tread on thin ice right now. I gotta tread carefully. So
well, congratulations.
I appreciate it. It's been a monumental day. It's like my first air fried PB&J. But
Lots of
here's
first.
but I do, reading it, I do have a pet peeve, and I want to kind of get this out there because I think I can help everybody. One of the things that people complain about is when you go on and ask for a recommendation, go search the page first. I disagree with that. Don't search the page first. Like if it's something that's been out there and asked before, ask it again because things can change.
Yeah.
But if you respond, if I'm asking for an electrician, don't just give me a phone number for an electrician. Tell me the experience you had. Tell me what he did for you. Give me a little, 2-sentence synopsis of what happened and why I should call this man. Or if you're the person who they're referring, reach out to me. I
Mhm.
guarantee you will have a date in my house to figure out whatever it is I need to get done and get me a quote if you reach out to me. I'm not going to say no. But that's the whole point of the Plum community page, is to get these recommendations. But I want to know why you're referring him. Is it your brother and you just want me to call him to get him some business?
Mhm.
Or, like I said, don't search because 6 months ago, Joe Smith could have been a great electrician, but in the last 6 months, he was at your house and you had a horrible experience. He stiffed you on the job. You paid him like $2,000 and you still have wires hanging out of your ceiling. I want to know that. Don't call this guy, right?
Yeah.
So just use some common sense. Like don't just say a name and a number. Tell me why. Why am I calling this guy?
I think what I like most about community page referrals is it depends on who's giving the referral on whether I trust it or not. So, they're
Exactly.
like, oh, that guy or gal is referring them. Definitely not calling them. They've made some questionable decisions that I've
Well,
seen that they've made public on these pages. So what are they doing privately? So if they're recommending
yeah,
them, I'm not sure that person's doing quality work.
we'll just cross them off the list right away.
Exactly. Process of elimination there. It's pretty simple. That's kind of how I take community page referrals. Like or community page referrals is the person referring them somebody that I already trust, and if they are, great. If they're not, I might actually go to their profile page and see what they've posted, and if it's some batshit crazy stuff, I'm definitely not calling their referral.
100%. All right, moving on. You feeling hot in here? Is anybody else hot right now? I'm sweating. Anybody else sweating?
Why are you sweating? You got bucko fever.
Got bucko fever, baby. 6-1.
City gets. I mean, it's a baseball town. It really is. Whenever the Pirates are doing anything basically above 500, people are ready to go watch the games. They are. I mean, the ticket prices are higher than they've ever been, but they're ready to go to games. I
Yeah.
mean, opening days. I was going to go to opening day, but it's going to be like upper 30s, and we'll call it moist outside. People just shut off this episode. They hate that word, but it's wet. It's wet, and but it's a team worth following. It's fun.
It is. And it's April. Are we overexcited? And my brother asked me, "Are you over?" He's like, "You're too pessimistic because it's the Pirates, right?" It's an abusive relationship. I've been in this relationship for 43 years, and there've been some good times and bad times, and a lot more bad times than good. But I will say I'm cautiously optimistic right now.
And I think anybody should be, because what they have coming to the majors here in a month or two. I mean, they've got
Schemes?
potentially, Quinn Priester will come up and fill it back into the rotation eventually. And Skeens, when he comes up, he's going to be a top 10 major league pitcher from day one. From day one, he throws 100 miles per hour almost every other pitch.
Yeah.
So, and they also have within a year or two, Termar Johnson, I believe, who's coming up at second base. He's a second baseman, hits for power. I mean, they've got guys. They started hot, and they have guys coming up that are going to be better than the players that are currently on the roster. So there's reason to be optimistic. I mean, World Series optimistic. Let's curb ourselves. We got the Dodgers spending $400 million a year, so
Yeah.
they'll always be contenders.
But Ohtani gambled on baseball, and he's still in the league right now. See what happens with that.
Yeah, I mean, can I ask you though, Mike, the 4-1-2 start, the 4-12 start, that's kind of dorky shit, isn't it? Like, we do the 4-1-2 in Pittsburgh thing a lot. Like, is that? I mean, do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you think?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Tomorrow they start the game at 4-12.
The 4. Oh
yeah, they start at 4-12.
Yeah, it's a
First
little bit
pitch.
of a stretch. It's a little bit of a stretch, but you know what? While they're good, jump on the bandwagon. Let's
jump
do
on it. Yeah, you can get the casual fan there.
You forgot to mention the most important thing that's happening when Skeens comes up.
What's going to happen?
Livy Dunn's going to be here.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot. Yeah,
Can't forget that one.
He's going to be fun. I think probably the most excited I've been about a player since probably Garrett Cole coming out to pitch.
Yeah, he's going to be the most anticipated pitcher since him. It's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, O'Neal Cruz obviously came up with a lot of flair too.
But yeah, as far as pitchers go, I mean, I think maybe Glasnow and Tyone might have had that same. But
Yeah.
it wasn't to the level of Cole, because Cole was already here and we were good when
Yeah.
those guys came up,
Right.
and now we're bad again. So I think Skeens is on that Cole level.
No, but I'm excited. Baseball was my first love. That's what I played in high school. It's what I thought my son was going to play, but he ultimately said no to baseball after a few years and chose to go the basketball route. So that's what he loves. So yeah, but I'm excited about it. I think they have potential. They do have extra wild cards now, so you don't have to be the best of the best to make the playoffs, and you never know what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah, the 2013 wild card game, though, one of the best live sporting events I've ever been to. It was awesome.
You were there?
I was there.
Yeah.
I was in back-to-back home playoff games. I was there in '92 against the Braves, and then in 2013 against the Reds.
So you're there for the Cueto game?
Yeah, that
It's
was
the best.
awesome.
That's the best sporting event I've ever been to. Is the Cueto game? For the crowd to chant Cueto, 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 and he drops the ball, and everybody loses their mind. And then Russell Martin hits a home run next pitch.
Crushes it. Just absolutely crushes it. All right, Drew, tell us what's good in the hood.
Mike, I'm really looking forward to our Good in the Hood guest today. Drew Karpen was hired to serve as the Plum Borough School District Athletic Director last June, and we're happy to have him on today's show to discuss how his first year in that role has gone. Drew, thank you for joining Sour Plums.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, first of all, welcome to Plum.
You.
Prior to coming here, you were in the Highland School District, and a vocal minority was clamoring for a local hire with a vested interest in Plum. I'm sure you heard some of that.
Mhm.
How have you overcome the perception that you're an outsider and kind of assimilated with the Plum community since becoming the AD?
Yeah, I'm glad it was just a minority. Yeah, obviously I knew that was a big topic. I was well aware of the turnover in this position prior to. To be honest, even though I've heard of a lot of things about it, I didn't really think that it has affected me, just because really from the beginning, I made it pretty clear that I wasn't going to be an outsider once I started. So even though like my first few weeks on the job, I still wasn't living here. We were looking, and we were able to get a place pretty quick. So um, it really didn't feel that way, which I think is a good thing, because again, I obviously heard things, and understandably, from how things have been going, it makes sense that you know this community wanted someone local, whether it was someone already in the community or someone that was willing to move in. So it's been great so far. We've enjoyed it. My family and I, we've made it our home pretty quick. We're really enjoying it. So the commute to work is pretty nice, a lot easier with the late nights, having a 3-minute ride home and not the 40 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's been good so far.
Yeah, and Drew, when you first came here, I'll say this: you were one of my favorite hires today, because I was on the school board
Mhm.
when we brought you on, and you and I went to lunch. I think right before you started or right after you started, we went to lunch and talked a lot. And I was pretty honest with you, and I said I was on my fourth AD in my
Mhm.
4 years that I was on the school board, and there's a lot of positions where I think you need to get the best person, not the best person from Plum. But for the AD position, I was pretty vocal that I was looking for somebody who did have a vested interest in Plum.
Mhm.
And when you were told to kind of put your money where your mouth was, and how are you going to be part of this community, you said, well, I'm going to move here, and you did. And uh, you know I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I was never against Drew the person. It was the theory of just not having somebody who had this vested interest, because Drew Bartow, um, his kids go here, my kids go here, and to have that turnover at such a high level position without the stability that to support the coaches, um, it just wasn't something that I could see benefiting, like the kids coming up to be competitive. And I think already in your first year, we've had some golf whippeal championships. We've had some girls wrestling was introduced, and in their first year, they had some whippeal championships. And just through the conversations we've had, you and I have become pretty good friends. I think, at least I hope so. I'm not putting you on the spot, but
No, we have.
well, close enough that I can text you out of the blue and ask you a random question. But one of the things that I asked you at that lunch that I talked to prior ADs about was, I'm pretty involved with the youth organizations here in Plum. My kids play in a bunch of them, and I'm on the Plum Baseball and Softball Association board. I'm on the basketball board, and I said to you, my theory is that these organizations the high school has to build these organizations up from the elementary level, because that's your future.
Mhm.
And everybody said to me that they were on board with that. But since you've started here, we have PBSA recognition nights at the baseball and softball games, which we never had before. We have those at the PBBO. I'm not sure about the boys side. I see the girls side, but Coach Diebler on the girls side is at the 4th grade practices, the 5th grade practices, and he's an assistant on the 6th grade team. So that culture is starting to be built, and I think that has a lot to do with what you've come in and done.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like you said, um, we're in order to get to where we want to be and be successful, it's going to happen through our feeder programs. We're a public school system. We don't get to recruit like some other schools may be able to. So you need to make sure that you're learning from those youth groups, but you need your high school kids to be involved with them, because these younger kids, they look up to them. So you need to kind of mesh them all together. It's some are easy to do, some are hard to do, but at the end of the day, that's that's how you're going to be able to build the culture that we want to build and what we've started to build. And um, there's going to be more to come. We'll start looking at what else we can do to continue to build it. We've already in the first year, we've added quite a bit of middle school teams and JV teams. We added boys JV golf this year. We've added boys middle school volleyball. We're in our first season in the spring with girls flag football. This was the first year with girls golf, which will be a WPIAL sport next year. So, I mean, in the first year, we've already added a lot of sports and opportunity for the kids at the high school level and the middle school.
Yeah, with that culture you're talking about too, it's not that we can't recruit here in Plum, but it's also on the reverse side. We got to stop the schools who recruit from getting our kids. We got to build
That's,
that culture so they want to stay here.
that's
Mhm.
a good point. That's a great point. Because I mean, it's a reality that happens, at every school. But you build that culture and that winning mentality. It's going to be very hard for them to want to go anywhere else, and these kids at the youth level, you know, they're always playing together. So whenever they get up to high school, they're playing with the same kids. So if they've had all the success at the youth, they're going to want to stay here. And, it should mean something to win a section or a WPIAL or a state title in your own district. That's what you should be wanting and striving for.
Yeah, and that
And
takes time. I mean, my son is going to he's a rising freshman in basketball, and a 3rd grade year, the team was phenomenal. They didn't lose a game, had some rough years in there. COVID years didn't help. It was kind of a mess everywhere. But it took us until 8th grade this year to finally see those kids mesh well and play together as a team, where you can see oh wow, these kids they could be special. You combine that with a couple other classes, and you could be talking about a couple years here, 2 or 3 years here, competing for WPIAL championships.
And that's the thing. And of course, these kids want to get noticed, and we need to make it our priority and responsibility to get them noticed. Here in Plum, like, we're a 5A school. We're not a small school. We're a district that's on the map. So we just need to make it enticing for kids to want to stay here. I mean, we've have 2 guys right now in the major leagues that came from Plum. We've had guys in the NFL. We've
Mhm.
had guys in the NHL. Like, you know, coming into this job, I mean, I don't know another district like this that, I mean, of course you have your Central Catholics, but public school that have produced so many professional athletes recently. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. No, and I want to talk a little bit, Drew, if I turn it to the day to day of what you do, because I know the community has opinions. Everybody has opinions on everything, and everybody's job is easier than somebody else's. Everybody feels that in every walk of life, but kind of
Yeah.
want to see let the community understand what's the role of the athletic director overall, and what's the day to day look like for you. What do you spend most of your time doing?
That's a great question, because I'll say this: there is no such thing as a typical day.
Yeah.
Not any day is the same as the next, or moving forward. It's all going to be different. Um, on nights where there's events, I'm usually there from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. Um, literally right before this, I got home 20 minutes ago from our boys lacrosse game. It's literally nonstop. You're at every single event during the day. Um, there's stuff to do too. I mean, I do schedules. I do lining up the transportation, the officials. Um, I have constant meetings with administration.
Mhm.
It's just, meeting with student athletes. We run eligibility. There's just, all of the equipment and uniforms and everything that we order, everything comes through us. I handle all the coaches. That's basically my staff. Um, and a lot of people don't realize it's not just high school. I'm actually the athletic director for grades 7 through 12. So I do run all of the middle school sports as well.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, you know, whenever we have to make sure that we have all the early dismissals together. There's really a lot. There's no, you know, you go in each day and all right, here's my checklist. I when I first started it as an athletic director in my last district, I actually used to first thing whenever I got in is do a checklist. And then after the first week, I threw that out because you don't complete anything on that checklist
Yeah.
because you constantly get pulled every which way in doing things. But honestly, I love doing it because it's not a 9 to 5, sitting behind your desk constantly doing something. Like I'll walk the halls and interact with the student athletes. It's awesome. It's something I love to do. Like I'm looking to build those relationships with the staff, the teachers, the students. So um, I, there's really no, all right, this is the typical day of an athletic director. This is what we do. It's just there's a lot that we have to work with and a lot of people we work with, but it's at the same time it's enjoying. I mean, the fun part is doing the events.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love going and watching the kids compete. I run all the recaps and everything that you see on the website and social media. I write all those. I do all that. So
Oh wow.
um it's nonstop. There's times where I'll get home at 10 o'clock and then I'll go and do that recap from the game. So I enjoy it though. That's also my background too as a journalist. So
Yeah.
So are you saying you don't just watch Sports Center all day?
I don't actually just watch SportsCenter all day. It's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I will follow a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, I don't have that luxury.
Well, no, thank you for that insight, Drew. It's just nobody knows the day to day of what people do, and it's hard. Like for me, I don't even think about the part of it where you're going to all these events to show support. I mean, that's not a 9 to 5 job at all, and so that's got to be
Mhm.
hard. But you got to really love what you're doing to want to do that. So, um,
Absolutely. Like, I mean, I love athletics, obviously, and I love, working with the students, and it's just kind of the perfect mix.
yeah. Well, now you've been on the job for just about a year now. What do you feel like have been your biggest accomplishments, and what are your long term goals for the Plum athletic program?
So definitely year one, typically, and it was the same thing in my last district. You want to be able to build those relationships, not only with the students, obviously, but the coaches, the staff, community members. You want to be able to do that because, I mean, that goes a long way, when people see you visible. And that was one thing that I really was wanting to emphasize this first year. And also, adding the addition of the programs that we've added.
Mhm.
That was a big emphasis of I believe that every single varsity sport that we have should have a feeder program at the middle school, and we didn't. So we've already added a couple of those. We've added a couple of programs at the high school level right now. Club hopefully become a varsity sport moving forward. So um, and I mean, moving forward, we want to continue with that. We want to be able to provide as many opportunities as we can for all of our students. I obviously what makes it more fun is, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we like to win. I want to win. Getting those championships.
Mhm.
Um, and that's what we should be striving for. I know that's what the kids wants, that's what the coaches want. That's what the community wants. And looking at possibly whatever upgrades we can make, whether it's with teams, with facilities. I would love to do that. So um, hopefully, longer term, we're able to do stuff like that.
Drew, do you remember what you said to me? It was either at the lunch we went to or shortly after that. Do you remember one of the first things you said to me when you came in?
I don't. I
You-
do remember I had a cheesesteak though.
yeah, it was delicious, wasn't it?
It was very
They
good.
make a really good one.
Yeah.
So you told me between being an assistant athletic director and the main AD, every time you went into a school district, the first year they won a WPIAL championship.
They
And
did. Yeah, we did that
yeah,
this year too.
you got it this year too. So
We
that's
got
pretty awesome.
we got a team in girls bowling won the championship, and then girls wrestling got a couple of individual WPIAL champions and regional champions. So that's just a coincidence. That's no credit to me. That's all credit to the students.
Yeah. Well, that's
And
awesome though.
can you just? I don't think everybody knows. Can you just kind of give a quick rundown difference between what a club sport is and a varsity sport? Just like what makes one a club versus varsity.
Yeah. So obviously varsity is sports, one that's been around. It's a school sanctioned sport. Something that provide the district pretty much like it's in the athletic budget. They provide funding for it. Obviously, every sport, even if it's a varsity sport, um, has assistance with the boosters, any other kind of donations and funding. But for instance, some other club sports, something that may not be recognized by the PIAA or WPIL. For instance, slow pitch softball has their own organization, so they are considered a club because they're not a WPIAL sport. Um, Same thing with hockey. We still treat them as all those teams as our sports, like varsity letters and everything. I will provide all that to them. That's another thing that we do. We hand out all the awards and everything at the end of the year. Girls flag football, that is coming in as a club sport. I would not be shocked, since it's such an emerging sport, if in a few years, once it gets enough members, the PIAA will probably adopt it as a varsity sport. Right
Wow.
now, there's just not enough teams. That's another thing. If there's not enough teams participating in it, it's going to be labeled as a club, not a varsity sport. Um, so, girls golf this past year, it was a club because it was in its first year. We were in the middle of a scheduling cycle. The new scheduling cycle starts next year, so we requested a WPIAL schedule, which we got. So now we are in a WPIAL section. We got a WPIAL schedule for the next 2-year cycle for girls golf. So if it's a new sport, if it's not recognized by the PIAA as a varsity sport, or if it's not recognized by the WPIAL as a varsity sport, that's kind of the difference. Obviously, there's difference in funding as well.
Yeah. Now, Drew, anybody who listens to this show knows I can get selfish at times. So I'm gonna get a little selfish here. I'm extremely interested in who becomes the next boys varsity basketball coach. As I mentioned, my son is a rising freshman basketball player. So where does that search stand? And what are you looking for in a candidate, not only for that coaching position, but really for any head coaching position at the varsity level?
Yeah, so obviously, we're in the process. We're looking to get someone in as quick as possible because we understand how important, getting started with open gyms and everything. We want to make sure that we're in a good position so that we can hit the ground running and already be established for summer leagues. We don't want to waste these next couple months. So
Yeah.
we're in the process. Just really what we're looking for is the same thing we look for all of our coaches. Like we need someone like we're looking like to build this culture like every of all of the winning programs that we have. Like, we need some like kids need to be held accountable, needs to be, discipline there. Their students first. That needs to be a priority.
Mhm.
We have talented kids already, so that part will take care of itself. I just think, in all the sports that we have, the big thing is holding the kids accountable, because that's what's going to create the culture.
Absolutely. Now, what I heard in there, Drew, as you explained that, is that you're ready to announce the new boys basketball head coach right here on Sour Plums. Is that what I heard?
I mean, if that's what you wanted to hear, yeah, you might have heard that.
I'm guessing that's a no, not tonight.
No, I will tell you right here on Sour Plums that is the new coach is someone you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for.
All right, I didn't think I'd
Not
get it, but I
not not
tried.
not too far in the future,
We're
but
getting closer. Okay.
yeah,
I only have one last question for you, Drew. I don't know if Mike has
yeah.
anything else for you, but I guess how far away do you feel that Plum is from a Whippeal championship in any of the, I hate to say it because the lack of a better term, but like sort of the major sports like a football, basketball, baseball, or soccer? Obviously, we've had success at other sports, which is awesome, and we commend all of those athletes. But how far away do you feel like we are for some of those bigger sports that have a larger volume of athletes competing?
I don't think we're that far at all. I mean, you see a lot of schools in similar situation to us that have won Whippeal championships this year, and I mean, it's not easy to do. There's a lot of competitive teams out there, a lot of like competitive schools. It's very hard. Even if you have a successful regular season, you see some of those top teams that don't win Whippeal championships. But I think we're right there. I mean, soccer, both boys and girls, we won the section championships each of the last 5 years. We went into playoffs as the top seed and the number 2 seed for boys and girls respectively. It's just not easy to do.
Yeah.
Come playoff time, it's very tough. So we're right there. Right now in spring, like baseball has as good a shot as anyone to win a Whippeal championship this year. They're year in and year out. They're a successful program. Like
Yeah.
we have a lot of successful programs that can win in any year. We're not far away at all. Like it can happen any year with a lot of our programs. It's just, with how competitive it is right now with all these teams and everyone pretty much plays nowadays all year round in any sport that they play in, you know, it's tough. I mean, you don't see a lot of top seeds, you know, always winning the Whippeal championships in a lot
Yeah.
of sports.
No, it is hard.
Our baseball team's pretty seasoned, right? We have like 10 seniors on the team right now, something like that.
We have 10 seniors. Yeah. So, this should hopefully be a good year for them. They've had a good start to the season. They're undefeated in section right now. So, like I said, you never know. We have all the pieces that we need.
I'm going to make a bold proclamation here tonight, Drew. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say basketball, Plum is going to win the section by 2026, 2027. We're going to win the section. 2027, we're competing for a Whippeal. That's my belief with the classes we have coming. So stick around.
I will even counter that and say, I don't think that's that bold.
That's not that bold. All right. Good.
And like you said, and I've seen the kids we have right now and what's coming up.
Yeah.
That is 100% doable.
All right. Well, it's gonna be a fun ride. I'm excited for it. It's a whole new world when you got a kid going into the ninth grade arena, getting into high school. It's a whole different ball game. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to enjoy the ride. So hey, Drew, thank you for joining us on Sour Plums. I really appreciate it, and we wish you all the best in your role as athletic director.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was great. Drew Karpen, everybody, the athletic director for Plum Borough High School. It was amazing to have him on here and just kind of give us some insight into what he does every day and what he expects in the future for our young athletes. So, Mike, I think it's time for Would You Rather. What do you got this week for us?
Yeah, I got a good moral one here this week. So it's kind of a long one, so follow me here. A massively obese man dies of a heart attack at the top of the tallest water slide at the water park, just before he's about to go down. Do you try to carry him down the 5 stories of stairs in a respectful manner, or do you push him down the slide and meet him at the bottom in a convenient way?
Did you say he had a heart attack and died?
He died. He's
dead.
Oh. He's got to get to the bottom.
I would say if he's not quite dead yet, he has to get to the bottom faster.
No, he's dead.
He's
So,
dead. Ooh.
like when I say
I
massively obese, like he dwarfs me, like
All
big
right.
man.
Mike, I thought he was. Oh, so I thought he was like mid heart attack. I had to get him down there as quickly as possible, but he's already dead.
He's dead.
I gotta respectfully help him down. I've got to get as much help as I can get. I'm sorry, I have to. I can't. A man going through a heart attack, and I have to get him down there as quickly as possible. Yes, he's going down the slide as quickly as possible, but he's dead. I think that's disrespectful. I think we've got to do what we can to get help and to get him down respectfully down the stairs.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with you more on this one.
So, all right, give it to me.
I mean, he's not going to know. Just push him and meet him down there.
He's not going to know, but is his family there? There's so much to know about this.
Probably. How are you going to carry this guy down the steps? I mean,
I'm not doing it by myself. I'm getting community. Mike, have you lost your sense of community?
No.
4 years on the school board, and you've just given up hope.
Listen, 27-year-old Mike might have had the strength to carry him down the steps. 43-year-old Mike is pushing him, following him, and then I'll help him out at the bottom.
I think I can grab a leg. I think we'll get some bigger, stronger guys like Mike to get in the middle. But I'm gonna grab a leg.
So what you're saying is you're actually going to do nothing except find other people to do it.
Yes, that's sort of how I operate, professionally and personally. I delegate, Mike.
Oh, Alan, save us on this one. Where are you at?
Well, there's some factors that go into it. Are there a lot of people at the top of the slide with you? Or is it just you and him? If it's just you and him, I'm pushing him down the slide because we got to go down there some way. I'm not going to try to get this guy on my back for the stairs. It's not going to happen.
Wow. We've
It's
lost
dead
our
weight.
we've lost our moral compass. We've lost
Yeah.
our moral compass. Alan
No
used to be 3 episodes.
No pun intended, but it's dead weight. Like carrying a guy that's just flopping. Like it's too hard.
Did he die right before he slid, or did he die right after he slid? His family, they're mourning. They don't care. He's in the water now. We'll get him out. He's floating.
There's the loophole. His family doesn't know when he died. He could have died halfway down the slide.
No,
so
they don't know, unfortunately.
Oh, now you got outs.
You just go down 2, and then you got a guy in the water. And you're like, oh, you can be just as surprised as everyone else.
I feel like the community is going to agree with you on this one, Mike. I think I'm going to lose this one. But if anybody agrees with me and wants to respectfully get a dead person down the stairs, please let us know on our Sour Plums Facebook page.
Or if you want to have one more fun slide yourself, agree with me.
I mean, hop on and go down with them.
Oh,
giving him CPR.
But
he's trying to save his life. They don't know that.
See, that's my point, though. No, Mike said they know that. If they don't know that,
I'll go down. You come out of the tube and you're given chest compressions, waving for the EMT.
Look like a hero. And you got one last
local hero tries to save man. Yeah, absolutely. That's a wrap.
Drew, is it time to drop the grammar hammer on the people of Plum?
Of course it is, Mike. And tonight the focus is twofold, but it's all on texting. It's texting related. So I'm seeing recently, and this has to deal with grammar, people, and this is primarily women, and I know that just set me up to just get destroyed. I know, I'm done. But I'm reporting the facts as I know them. Okay? And that's the data that I have. The data that I have says this is primarily a female issue. And instead of saying I texted someone, past tense, like I texted someone yesterday, I see a lot of people say I text him yesterday. No. You wouldn't say I call him yesterday. You would say I called him yesterday. The same rules of basic grammar apply to the word text. I think people get that T at the end. They think it like somehow replaces the ED. It doesn't replace the ED. Nothing replaces the ED, if I'm being honest. But what have you seen this, Mike, or is this totally like? Do I just hang out with the wrong people?
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that one so much, but I think in general you're right. I mean, smartphones have made us anything but smart. I think our language has gone to shit since probably 2010 or 12, whenever texting really kind of took off.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Has
I don't
anybody seen
know.
this? I'm crowdsourcing this. If you're listening to this, if you're still listening to this episode, 40 minutes in or however long we're into this episode, have you seen people, or are you guilty of using text in the past tense? And if you are, stop it. Please just stop it. Put the ed at the end of text if it's past tense. Okay. And I want to move on. I don't want to dwell on that because I've already offended like 70% of our listeners. And I'm going to hear about it, just like I heard about backing into parking spaces. I know. So lay off or not, whatever. Anyway,
Don't lay off.
Mike, if you ever, or anybody listening ever who knows me, text me with a K, just the letter K. I hope your phone gets dropped into a toilet. And I hope it's gone for good, because there's nothing more offensive to me in text talk than getting a K. Listen, you can do anything. You can give me the O and the K. You can spell out okay, but you cannot give me a K. That is like, that's dismissive, disrespectful, and I won't have it. Listen, if I'm gonna give you the O, I expect the O in return. Am I wrong for that? Am I wrong for expecting reciprocation? Is that wrong of me?
No, I couldn't agree with you more on this one. I've been married twice, so I learned the first time, if you just send K, especially to your wife, you're in for a hell of a night, because she wants to know why you're mad at her. And sometimes, and you're not. So I have gotten away probably 10 plus 15 years of not sending just the K. I definitely give my wife the O. So
I'm glad. Alan, where you stand? You give the O or you just give the K?
I always give it the O, and I'm spelling it out.
Oh, you spell out the whole word?
all four
I'm
letters.
spelling out the whole word. Okay.
Wow, seems
Yeah.
excessive.
Wow.
I think that's very polite over the okay's even kind of rude.
Is it?
Okay. Yeah.
Let me ask this.
Okay.
K is mad. Okay is like, okay.
Short,
Okay.
but not mad, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you
Pick
on
up
the
the kids
thumbs up?
before you come home. Okay. I never do thumbs up. Thumbs up is more rude than K.
Really? I did it all the time.
I know you do. And here's the thing. The only reason I give it back to you is because you do it. I would never start. I would never give someone a thumbs up until they gave me one. But if they give me one, they're getting one too. Right up the ass.
Can I back myself up on why I do this?
Oh.
There's a real good reason.
Yeah, you're lazy.
When I get
go ahead.
when someone gives me the thumbs up, I give them back the okay symbol. The okay. That's what I do. Okay. All right. It's gonna be like that. Okay.
So when I was on the school board, your phone is subject to right to know, right? So you're very careful with what you put in text messages.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, if you're on the board with me, I'll call you, we'll have a conversation, and I need you to look into something, or I need to look into something and get back to you. And you don't want to put that in text. Like you don't want your phone to get taken for a right to know and have stuff in there, because I said some pretty mean things over text about people or about situations. So sometimes you just give the thumbs up to let them know, hey, what we just talked about is good. And I got into a habit over 4 years of doing that. So I'll try and stop. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I'll just give it back to you at this point now. Yeah. No, but like if significant other gives you a thumbs up, it's like, shit, I'm in trouble.
So wait, are you talking the thumbs up emoji, or are you talking to like the double click, the tap back thumbs up where you like the comment?
I'm talking about the emoji itself.
Okay.
You can like the comment. I think liking the comment, thumbs up. I think that's just a like. That's
so many layers.
Yeah,
it's an acknowledgement. I saw. Yeah,
I'm probably busy. I can't type anything, but yes, good. We're good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's an acknowledgement. It's not a response.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I saw what you said.
good point.
I have
it's
no
not
reply,
a response.
but I'm saying I saw what you had to say.
Yeah. Very good. Oh, I'm glad we got to talk about those things tonight. We cleared this up, right?
You're welcome, Plum.
Occasionally, instead of getting the K from my wife, I'll get the lowercase I, which means she missed the K, and then hit send. She was so upset with me that
That's got to be even worse.
K.
She couldn't even give you the K.
It's the lowercase I, and she still hit send because she doesn't even care.
That's her way of saying, I, Carly, am pissed at you. Does anybody get the iCarly reference? Anyone? Where are my 20-somethings?
You're going back to back, Drew. So honestly,
I didn't know the
good.
drink. This was the best Grammar Hammer segment we've had. It was fun. All right. All right, Mike. I think
The
it's time for.
reciprocating the O is so funny. So funny. Good job.
You don't have to fact check that. That's solid.
I might have to fact check that on you from what I've heard about you. No, just kidding. I haven't heard anything.
That's I'm glad. Nothing but good things. I'm telling you, Alan. All right, we need
That's
to
all
get
I
the hell
wanna
off
hear.
that subject ASAP. Okay. All right, Mike. My favorite segment now is blind ranking, and I'm always excited to hear what you have. You're going to give me 5 things individually, and I've got to rank them blindly without knowing what's next. Let's do it.
All right, so we're getting away from food this time. We've had 2 episodes in a row with food. I'm going into 90s and early 2000s sitcoms.
I like this.
All right, starting strong. Number 1, Seinfeld.
Here's where I gain a following and I lose a following. Number 1, you won't top it. It's number 1. It's number 1. I just lost Justin Newman. I'll tell you that. Newman lost him. He's gone. But it's. I love Larry David, who obviously did Curb Your Enthusiasm as well, which is just about to end. I actually prefer Curb Your Enthusiasm to Seinfeld, but Seinfeld for me, I can put that on in the background and watch that all the time. It's like music in the background to me.
Seinfeld's 1 because
Yes, sir.
it's timeless. It's timeless. I would go home to watch this show when I was younger. My parents would watch it. We watched the season finale or the series finale like it was a Super Bowl. There was commercials leading up to it.
Yep.
We stopped what we were doing and went. It has to be number 1.
All right, next one, Family Matters.
Ooh, we're talking Urkel. Yeah, that's so good. Did I do that? That was the worst white boy impression of that ever. That was awful. Yeah, I'm gonna give Family Matters. I've watched it since then, and it doesn't hold up as well in my opinion. So I'm gonna have to go 4. I'm gonna go 4.
5 for me. I wasn't a fan of Urkel back in the day, and I'm still not. So
I agree with one thing Drew said. It doesn't hold up because I watched it religiously on TGIF growing up.
TGIF, yes.
Yeah, and then I put an episode on probably about a year ago, and I couldn't get through it. It was bad. So you can probably guess where it's going to fall for me, but I know it's coming next.
All right, let's hear it.
The Office.
That's a solid 2 for me. I enjoyed The Office when it was on. I mean, it's one of those things like it's always on now in syndication. I can pop it on. Yeah, I bet you probably couldn't make The Office today on TV, on network TV at least, with some of the jokes that were in there. You know, what would be considered offensive and not offensive by today's standards. But I was entertained by it. I was there with the characters. I felt Pam and Jim. I felt that relationship. I got it. So it's a solid 2 for me.
I'm gonna go 3 for me for my list. I really like the show. I've watched it every year since it came out. Yeah, there's some things you look back and go, ooh, but not today. But back then it was hilarious and everyone was laughing. So yeah, 3.
Everyone's offended today though.
Yeah, especially me.
All right, number 4, Full House.
Yeah, Full House. I had a comeback because of the Fuller House on Netflix a few years ago. I really enjoyed that show. I loved it. I loved the characters on the male characters on there, taking care of the kids. I really like that concept. The uncles chipping in and helping. I'll give that a solid 3. That's where I'm gonna go with that.
I'm gonna go 4. I did enjoy Full House, and I think a lot of like the life lessons now probably for me as a parent I could relate with. I liked it when I was younger too. It was fun. It was a fun show. 4.
So we only have 1 left, huh?
1 left.
This I will say this. Can I preface this? Because if this is Scrubs, I'm screwed because it was one of my favorite shows ever. It's not. Okay, good. I think I know what it's going to be, and I'm okay with it going at 5. I think I know what it's going to be. I won't guess, but go ahead.
No, what's your guess?
My guess is Friends.
It's not Friends.
Oh, good. Good.
I thought that too.
Good. Good.
I purposely left Friends off because I did that one's.
I would have offended a lot of people.
It's a 1 or a 5, I think, for everybody.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And
yeah.
All right. The last one is The Simpsons.
Wow. I have to go 5. It's all I got left, right? So I got to go
Yep.
5 on The Simpsons, but you know what? I'd probably keep it there even if I wasn't able to change it. It's a good show, longevity, obviously points for longevity. I never got into it that much as a kid. I watched it, but when it was really becoming popular, I was kind of a little too young to get everything that was going on. And by the time I
Yeah.
understood, it was like I moved on to other things, like girls and baseball. So I wasn't watching too much animated stuff back then. But yeah, I'm cool with 5. It's probably the best 5 I'm gonna have on this program, I think.
Alan, you have it at 2.
I'm okay with it there. I was really into it when I was young because my dad would watch it.
Since I brought it up, can I get you guys' opinion on Scrubs? That'd be right there, 1A, 1B with Seinfeld for me. I loved it.
I never watched it.
No?
Never saw one episode. No.
Neither of you have?
I watched it occasionally. I don't think when it was on, and I would have put it at 5 probably.
Oh wow, we're gonna have a watch party, Mike.
All right.
There's only 8 seasons, so
I'm in.
all right.
All right. So here's I'm gonna give mine backwards this time. So at 5, I had Family Matters. Like I said, I agree with what Drew said. It just didn't hold the test of time. It just didn't keep my interest as an adult. The Simpsons, I did like The Simpsons. I watched it religiously growing up. Like Alan said, I don't think I really got it when I was a kid. But it's a show I could put on now and still watch. And I love all the predictions that they unknowingly predict
Yeah.
in this show. 3 I have is The Office. It's a great show. It couldn't be on today, like you said. But the humor was great. It's my kind of humor. I love that kind of humor. Then I have Seinfeld at 2.
Wow.
One of my all-time favorite shows, and I will fight anybody who puts Full House anywhere but number 1. It is my favorite show ever, to the point where, and Jess will back me up on this, I can close my eyes and listen to 2 lines and tell you exactly what's going to happen in the show, and I can tell you every line that's coming word for word. And what blows her mind is I will say, hey, cue the commercial, and then it goes black and goes to a commercial. I watched this every day growing up on TGIF. And then in college, I had a fraternity brother, and we would sit there 4 o'clock and 4:30 and watch Full House every day after class if I went to class. But I absolutely love that show. I even took 2 days off of work to watch Fuller House as soon as it dropped, so I could sit home and watch it all day.
That is extreme, and I love that. I love that commitment. And I'll say this about Full House. You know how when you think a show's really good, and even if you're watching it today, you're like, this is still really good, and you show your kids, and they're like, Dad, how can you watch this? My kids watched Fuller House, but then went back and watched all of Full House, and they loved it. It's a very good family show. But it's good for adults and kids. I have no beef with Full House at 1. I'm surprised. I thought you'd have Seinfeld at 1, but I like that.
Yeah, no, the last season got a little cheesy, a little too cheesy for Full House.
Yeah.
And then Fuller House was purposefully cheesy.
Yes.
Like they played off of it. So, but it was good. It was fun.
Let us know where you guys stand on that. I feel like we could do a blind rankings on TV shows like endlessly. You just throw 5 out there. We just that's a fun. We got to revisit TV shows again in the future.
Yeah, we'll have to do some like dramas, that kind of stuff. We'll definitely throw some more in. We could maybe do 5 more sitcoms. So
tell us what you think. Sure. I know last episode we had some people posting on our page. Don't be afraid to post on our page your blind rankings, or just tell us what you actually think. You don't have to even tell us blindly. Just tell us what you really think, and tell us why we're right. We like to hear why we're right. We're men. So. All right, Mike. I know we have some voicemails. You mentioned we had quite a few. I know a couple came in late, as they always do. You want to play some today?
Yep, here we go. Number 1.
People Plum. It's me, Jim McBride. Sour Plums, long time listener, big fan. Just a question about this whole mint debacle that's been popping up. Do people eat that before they're going on a date or going to bed or something? Does this prevent you from having to brush your teeth at night? I'm gonna see where everybody weighs in. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
This is why he's on the show every week.
Great question, but we already know where we stand on mint and in general, and mint chocolate chip and everything, and ice cream. I think we've We've explored that one. I think it's fine. I mean, it's a fine substitute for brushing your teeth at night. What great advice I'm giving. I can't believe we have much of a youth audience, so I think we're fine.
I just like that one because he agreed with me.
Of course you did.
Hey, Sour Plums. This is Betty Dell from Plum. I am just calling to let you guys know that I am now taking applications for the new Cracker Barrel. If you have anybody interested, please have them email me at bettydell666@gmail.com. Again, that is bettydell666@gmail.com. The previous employee that was taking the applications quit. Her name is Jen. She's no longer taking them. So if you guys could just send those to me, that'd be great. Signing off. Betty. Bye.
I think she's trying to sabotage Jen and take business away from her, take future employees away from her. So I don't know if I would really advise people to listen to that voicemail.
No, I think you should still contact Jen Mascaro.
I agree.
Hi, my name's Steve. You may remember me from such Facebook posts as How Are the Roads? Runner-up the Plum Inside Scoop Spooky Spectacular. An appearance on the Christmas Holiday Tour of Life. And finally, neighbor of the longest grass in Plum. I've been a would you rather for you guys. Okay, would you rather attend a gathering or let someone stab you in the eye with a red-hot poker? Thanks for taking my call, and I'll hang up and listen.
When he said gathering, it's like he was talking to us in all caps. It was weird.
It was weird. Yeah, that was weird. I just want to comment on his neighbor who has the longest grass in Plum. I believe that's a good friend of mine, Greg Acero. I believe he has the longest grass in Plum, and I apologize for that, Greg, and bring it up here. But Steve was passionate there, so I had to mention it.
Maybe he should cut the grass more.
I did mention tonight he should cut his grass, and he was not.
Yeah.
He was not. He said something I could not repeat on the show.
But Steve gave us a would you rather. So that was the would you rather attend the gathering, which he screamed in caps.
Oh, yes.
Or stab yourself in the eye with a red hot poker.
What would you do, Mike?
So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of huge crowds, so probably gathering.
Yeah, the whole stabbing out with what? What? What was he gonna stab me out with?
A red hot poker.
No, I got these baby blues. I can't mess with those. So that's not going to happen. So I'd rather attend the gathering just to see if they're cooking up, some kind of event to like storm the Borough building, like their hero stormed the Capitol. You guys got nothing for that?
You caught me off guard.
It's too good. I don't. What do you? How do I follow that up?
Ooh, we got any more voicemails, Mike, or is that it?
Two more.
Okay.
Hi, Sour Plums. How are you? This is Dr. Danielle Bagis. I'm the president of Plum Mustang Foundation. I saw a post on Facebook earlier today looking for some would you rather questions, and I think that I have one that's worth discussing for you this week. It seems like it's a no-brainer, but we're going to put it out to the universe. And here it is. Would you rather sit at home drinking your adult beverages by yourself on a Friday night, or would you rather go out to an event, hang out with friends, get some food and drink, as well as raise some money for the students and faculty and staff of the Plum Borough School District? See, it's easy, right? We're having our second annual Night at the Races event on Friday, May 3rd. And if you were there last year, you know it was an amazing time. We had so much fun, and we raised a really, really nice amount of money to give to the students for scholarships and the teachers for grants. So we really want to continue to be able to do that and provide some extra for all of our kids in the district. So would you rather do that or sit at home? I mean, I think that it's pretty clear what you should do. Thanks so much. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
So every once in a while we get a real voicemail, and I think that's a great plug for the Plum Mustang Foundation. Drew, you've been on there I think from the inception.
Yeah.
From the beginning. I just joined a few months ago. Plum Mustang Foundation. The sole beneficiary of the Plum Mustang Foundation is the Plum Borough School District. So any money that's raised there goes right back into our classrooms, to our students, and scholarships and supplies, things like that.
It's a great event. It's a great event. I'm pissed off that I can't attend it this year because I have a work event. But you can go on there, even if you're not going to sponsor it, or if you can attend, you can still go on there and name horses for like $10 a piece. And man, you can have some fun with those names. So yeah, I recommend looking up the Plum Mustang Foundation on Facebook and going to that form and maybe naming some horses and have some fun with it. Because if your horse wins, you actually win money too. Thank you, Danielle.
All right, and here's our last one.
Hi, Sour Plums. Big fan of the show. This is Carly. I'm calling in as a concerned resident of Plum Borough. With the eclipse hitting the area in just a few days, I'm concerned about the vision of our Plum community at large. There are fraudulent eclipse glasses being sold on the internet to unsuspecting citizens, and I want to make sure the community stays safe during this worldwide event. Consider this a public service announcement to verify your recently purchased eye protection, that it has the American Astronomical Society seal of approval as safe for the eclipse.
All right, so we had 2 real ones in a row.
Yeah, I think you better
That's a
check
new
your
record.
glasses. I know that. Check your glasses. But hey, I'll say this. The eclipse has got people talking, and man, it is a short event. But you better just also explain to your kids who don't have glasses or too cool for glasses. Just don't stare at it. Don't look at it. It's what I've read is it's really no different than if you stare at the sun. If you had stared at the sun for long enough, but your eyes know well enough when they hit that sun to look away, to squint, to do things. But the way this light shines, you can't tell that it's burning your retina, but it is. It's just as bad as the sun, but you can't see it the way you see the sun. So on a typical day, so don't look at it. Don't be a jag off. Don't do what the former president did and look at the sun. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Please tell your kids. If that's my PSA. But thank you, Carly, for that. You need to check your glasses and make sure they are up to snuff.
Unless you really don't like the person, then just tell them look right at it.
Yeah. Also, you could do that. That is not my recommendation, but that was Mike Devine's recommendation.
At the top of a water slide, then when they can't see, you just push them down.
The morals are failing this show. Is that all the voicemails for this episode, Mike?
That's all of them.
That was a hell of a batch. So keep them coming. Do you have the phone number they can reach us at, Mike? I can just keep talking about texting K's and stuff if you'd like.
If you want to leave a voicemail, call us at 412-712-7019. Give us a would you rather. Give us something to rant about, something you'd just like our take on, and we'll talk about it here on the show.
All right, Mike, let's get ready to wrap it up here. Before we do, let's talk about some Plum shout-outs. I don't know if you have any this week, but I have one kind of a little generic, but really for the members of the community or any community, but the Plum community especially. My son started AAU basketball this weekend, and I realized as I look around, like all of these parents that are sitting next to me are driving their kids to practices 2 or 3 times a week, 45 minutes away. We have kids from all over the Western Pennsylvania on this team, and they're doing this because their kids love playing basketball. And that's true of any sport or activity that you allow your kids to pursue. You support them, you take them there, you help them get their schoolwork done so they stay on task there. So shout out to all the parents that are, kind of sacrificing their time for their kids' time, because you'll have your time again when your kids are out of the house. They'll be out before you know it. So I really wanted to just applaud parents who are doing that and taking their time, because it's a lot. people don't see it or don't do it or don't care enough. They don't understand how much time you really invest in just really windshield time, car time, just driving all around for your kids. So I know that's a very generic shout out, but I think it needs to be said, because a lot of times parents are like, what am I doing this for? You're doing it for your kids, and then they'll never forget that. I'll never forget when my grandparents took me to things. I'll never forget those things. So keep it up. Keep up the good work. Continental Cone Barbershop, a traditional barbershop servicing the area since 1973. Up to date on all the new styles and cuts. Call 412-795-7555 and mention Sour Plums for $5 off any service.
Tresco Concrete, the best concrete products on the market. Ready-mix concrete delivered to your door, guaranteed to get hard or your money back. And as always, their concrete is all natural, no supplements, and always 100% Viagra-free.
The Jen Mascaro team proudly supports the Sour Plums podcast. When it comes to selling your home promptly and at peak value, look no further than the expertise of the Jen Mascaro team. With over a decade of industry experience, we guarantee to guide you seamlessly through the process. For personalized assistance, contact us at 412-607-6318 or email jen.mascaro@cbrealty.com.
All right, so if you noticed this week, we all have Sour Plums shirts on. So I have some extra ones. This is what they look like. Can you see that? I can't see my screen.
Yes. Looks
All right,
good.
We can get a picture of this up there as well. Trying to figure out the pricing on it, but we have probably, I don't know, half a dozen or so left that we can sell. So if you're interested in getting one, right now the sizes are limited, but I want to figure out how we can get these produced to order. So I think we have some extra larges and larges right now. But so if that's one of your sizes and you want one, price point's going to be probably around $20. But we have a couple extra of these that we're going to sell. If you're interested, reach out to Drew or I.
All right, thanks, Mike. Yeah, it's great. They look good. They look the purple and have the white Sour Plums logo and obviously our slogan, our very important slogan, podcast for more than 3 Plum residents. But thank you for listening to this podcast. It's called Sour Plums. Like this episode, subscribe to our channel on SoundCloud, Spotify, or YouTube, and share if you care.